Soon, a brand new game is going to release, which is definitely going to hijack my living room. We are talking about the game called Minecraft Dungeons 2. And no, don't be fooled, this is not another Minecraft game. This is not a game where you build houses and relax. This is a ARPG with boss fights, in-game, and even customization. You can create your own build, you can create your own items. There will be so many things to do in this awesome ARPG. In today's episode of Side Quest with Dvalin, we are going to cover the upcoming ARPG game called Minecraft Dungeons 2. It releases very soon on the 29th of September, and I am excited. I have at least 3 or 4 close friends who are going to play this with me, and I am excited, beyond excited to play this. I also played the first one, which was decent, good. It needed a little bit more. Like it was really close to be a really good ARPG, but it just needed a little bit more. But the second one here definitely has what it requires. So let's get to it. First, I'm going to take you through the development and the leaks, because before we actually got confirmed that Minecraft Dungeons 2 was in production, there was a couple of leaks that was kind of like showing that something is in production. Again, Minecraft Dungeons 1 was a really good ARPG. I completed it. You could play it on PC, consoles, and so on, but it has a lot of issues. It didn't release with crossplay from day one. It just had like a lot of co-op, like small issues that wasn't fun. But the second one here is here to fix everything they want: cross save, cross play, cross region. It's going to have everything to make the game be able to blow up day one. But I first want to take you through like the development cycle. Where did we start? What was the leaks? When was it announced and stuff like that? And then we're going to dip our toes into what this game actually is. But to not lose your attention, this is an ARPG. Think of Path of Exile 2 and think of Diablo 4, but with blocky Minecraft graphics. Yes, imagine. And this is a game you can technically play with your kids because it is, of course, family friendly. There's no big gore. Diablo is probably not a game I would show to my kids. But Minecraft Dungeons is something you can definitely play with your kids, and it's going to be fun for the entire family. It has sofa co-op and stuff like that. But let's dive into the development, the timeline, and the leaks, which was called the Spicewood. So, in my last video or last podcast episode, I had a few requests of the sources. The sources from today is coming from the official website. It's also coming from all the live streams that Microsoft have hold, and also from the Steam page. So that's kind of like where the sources are coming from. So, trust me, bro. Okay. So the development timeline and the Spicewood leaks. The game is being built on Unreal Engine, which is nice. I like Unreal Engine. It had been in development for at least 2 years prior to any information officially surfacing to the public. The project was first leaked in March 2025 under the internal codename Project Spicewood. Initial leaks included early low-resolution gameplay and promotional images of Warden-like bosses emerging from a portal. So if you don't know, in Minecraft there's something called a Warden, which is kind of like looking like a big stone guy, like a very big colossal stone boss thingish. And this mob here was like highlighted in this leaked image here, which of course made people think, okay, could this be a potentially boss in Minecraft Dungeons 2? The portals shown in the leaked concept are resemble the structure of naturally found in ancient cities. While early claims regarding the leaks were met with some skepticism in the community, the leaked screenshots of classified items carried enough weight to maintain ongoing speculation leading up to the reveal. And then Microsoft finally revealed the game. The game is collaborative in development effort between Mojang Studios and Double 11. Xbox Game Studios is serving as the official publisher for the title, and Minecraft Dungeon 2 was officially revealed to the public during the Minecraft Live event in March 2026. So, as you can hear, it's actually not that long time ago it was officially announced. Like, imagine it was announced in March and it's releasing in September. I wish other games would do this because we have other games we know. We even have talked about it in episode 1 and 2. Like, look at Guild Wars 3. They announced the game and they're like, well, you gotta wait at least plus a year before we have a beta, and maybe 1.5 years till we have a game for you. It's, of course, it's nice to learn about games when they get announced and when we potentially get them. But sometimes I also feel like they could potentially announce them a little bit too early, if you know what I mean. But to each their own. The official release date was formally announced a few months later during the Xbox Game Showcase in June 2026. So basically, the game was announced in 20 March, and then they gave us the release date in June, which is pretty cool. Some small details information about the game in case you need to know. The game is scheduled to be released globally on September 29, as we already stated. Supported platforms at launch will be including PC, Xbox and Steam, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo Switch. The title also officially confirmed to be launching on upcoming Nintendo Switch 2, which of course has released, but my notes is old. So basically, this means you can buy the game on PC, Nintendo. So, for example, imagine you could play at your PC for like, hard sessions, doing some hard content, and then you could go down in the sofa, chill, even, tag along with your kids and they can join in on couch co op. And you can even do couch co op with your like family and also even invite a friend in online to join you. It's pretty mad. Like they really made sure that everyone is included and everyone can actually play together, which is pretty cool. As an Xbox Play Anywhere title, it allows players to access the game seamlessly across both Xbox console and PC at no additional cost. It will be available to subscribers on Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Cloud Gaming right on launch day. Players have the option to pre-order a deluxe edition for 49.99, which includes unique pre-order cosmetics and access to the first two DLCs upon the eventual release. So, of course, as we already see here, there is already confirmed to come more DLC. So, kind of like Diablo 4 is having DLCs slash expansions. We also get that for Minecraft Dungeons too. The cool thing is now that since Microsoft they acquired Blizzard and Activision, basically they have the same people now in the company who is making Diablo 4, but also who is making Minecraft Dungeons too. So I would be very surprised if the Diablo developers and Minecraft developers, like the Minecraft Dungeon developers, hasn't been in some kind of like collab. You know, Diablo developers, they have so much knowledge about what is working, what can we see people is actually doing in our game. They can tell that to the Minecraft Dungeons guys, and they can take that and make it better or something like that. I would just be surprised if they wouldn't work together. I mean, they're literally co-workers now, so why wouldn't they share the source with each other? Like, it just only makes sense. So now we come to the more interesting part where we're going to talk about the gameplay. So in Minecraft Dungeons 1, you basically had this little camp where you would be walking around in, very small camp, and then you had like a war table that you could like join in to like different quests, campaigns, zones in the world. It wasn't like an open world. You had to like stand at the war table and then say, I want to go to this mission here on this difficulty. And yeah, that was just how the game was. But that is about to change. In Minecraft Dungeons 2, they are ditching the old system where you launch individual instant missions and return to a camp. Instead, the game features an interconnected world with much larger spaces to explore, making the journey feel far more organic and continuous. How I understand this is that it will be open world, maybe semi-open world. I could imagine maybe some big zones are connected, and then maybe there might be some loading screens between it. I actually couldn't find any sources on that. We have to remember this game is about to release next month, and they are still holding quite a lot of the information very close. They haven't shared everything with us yet. They're holding a lot of information for themselves, but we are slowly getting more and more and more information. For example, a lot of about the end game they still keep, but yeah, so on. But still, the number one was very instance based, but the second one here sounds to be very open worldish, which I'm very excited about. Like that's going to be a very very cool thing. The developers added vertically to the maps, bringing a brand new dedicated jump build to the game. So basically, the other game was just like, you would just always walk that way, that way, that way, or, you would just always walk like you linear. But now they are adding, like, you can actually climb up in mountains or probably like small hills or something like that. So they actually have a jump button where in the number one, there was no jump button, but it wasn't needed because the game was always just like, flat, that like it was just like a flat world. But as they're saying now they're actually going to add verticality into the game, so you can actually go up and down, which I mean just makes the game even more living, even especially with the open world. This jump isn't just for exploring. You can also now execute powerful jump attacks that are incredibly strong and completely change combat's dynamics. Combat overall is more engaging, especially in boss fights, which now feature one-hit mechanics that force you to watch enemy animations carefully so you can probably dodge or block. So it sounds like they're going to add a little bit Souls-like games into this. Like now you can actually dodge attacks, block attacks, jump attacks. So you can of course still play the game very casually, but it also does sound like you can actually be really mastering this game. There are still no rigid classes. Your playstyle is 100% defined by the gear you equip. Just like in vanilla Minecraft, armor is now split into 4 distinct slots instead of just one, massively multiplying your customization options. So in Minecraft Dungeon 1, you had like one armor, which was everything. Like imagine like you have like one armor piece, but it was both your feet, your legs, your chest, your helmet, and your shoulders. It of course made it look nice because when you got a new armor, it all matched and you always looked kind of nice. But now it's actually going to be like in Minecraft where they're going to split it like, into different pieces. So that you can actually have some feats that maybe like, give you teleport ability, some hands that maybe give you like an ignite ability, and a chest that might give you like a shield, a bubble, something like that. So now you can actually make a way more customizable build in this game here. You still get free artifact slots with new additions like the Honey Dipper, Pouch of Thunder, and Creepy Candle. So in the game, you have these artifact slots here where you can use. It kind of like works as items you can use, spells you can use. It's like items you can pick up, find different things, and use. So imagine like it's spells that can be found and used in the game, which you can find so many different and totally customize like these additional abilities, or as they call them, artifacts that you can use in the game. Talismans, you now have 3 slots for talismans, a brand new gear type. These grant powerful passive that actually gain XP and level up while equipped. For example, the Bone Tastiness summons a wolf companion to act as a pseudo tank for your party. That's pretty cool. So again, even more items that can actually customize. For example, this one here, which is now going to give you passively summoning a wolf that basically act as a tank for your party. Pretty cool. And it even levels up and get more experience. So I can't wait to explore what all these talismans can do. I hope you can kind of stack them. Could you imagine like summoning like a army of free wolves? That would be pretty cool. We're going to touch a little thing on co-op and quality of life now. So, unlike the first game, cross-platform multiplayer is fully enabled right at the launch. You can seamlessly mix local co-op with online friends in the exact same session. You have to be careful with your explosive as items like bombs because they can now damage your allies. So, they make it way easier to play with your friends, no matter how you want to play online, co-op, whatever, but they also adding friendly fire. So, don't just throw around bombs because you can actually kill your friend. Also, to keep multiplayer smooth, they added a pop up mini inventory. You can quickly swap out loot mid fight without throwing a massive menu over your friend's screen. Though the full screen stats menu is still available for deep theory crafting. So, before, if you open up like inventory, you were kind of like pausing or like annoying the game for your couch co op players. But now it has like this little inventory mini, so you can just like managing your inventory while you still play with your friends and you can still have a good time. So, a little bit about the lore. The storyline features an entirely new narrative that picks up right where the first Minecraft Dungeons left off. I'm not going to spoil anything in case you think, okay, I might play Minecraft Dungeons once, you just like kind of catch up on what this is. I'm going to let you explore the story yourself. But basically, it continues from where the first one is ending. Players will journey through unexplored lands on a quest to stop a new evil that is causing chaos in two different worlds. And the central focus of this emerging threat is directly tied to the deep, dark, and ancient cities. The game heavily contrasts the environments, transitions players from sunlit forest into dark caves illuminated by the eerie, bioluminescent glow of Skulk. I actually don't know what that is. In the Minecraft universe, the center of an ancient city contains a massive frame made of reinforced deep slate that resemble a warden's head. Again, the Warden, which we talked about before. When the game was still known under the leaked project Spicewood codename, promotional images surfaced showing a massive Warden-like boss. This leaked artwork specifically despises this Warden-like boss emerging directly through a portal. So again, we're kind of going. What they're trying to say here is that like we're going to be in two different worlds. We're probably going to be like in a some kind of like shadowy realm, like another world through a portal, and we of course also going to be in our own world. But this new threat here is basically so dangerous, so it both tries to infect where it comes from and also our world, or something like that. And it has a very big focus on this of Warden here, which we actually going to touch a little bit on now, since we're going to talk about Endgame. So the ultimate boss, standing in for the original game's arch Illager, the endgame heavily revolves around the twisted Warden. This towering, slow-moving boss has mechanics where it pulls in souls and unleashes them as massive sonic blast. Previews from the showcase emphasized that the Twisted Warden is a brutal four-player coordination chick, rather than a boss that one player can easily solo. One preview party, one preview party even completely ran out of time before they could take it down. So I guess it has some kind of like from World of Warcraft, where raid bosses, if you don't kill them in a certain amount of time, they will probably enrage and kill you. So I can imagine in this one here, it can probably enrage and maybe drop you off from a platform or something like that. The in-game isn't just about the final boss room. Smaller wardens, caliber mobs, have a chance to ambush your party right in the middle of a dungeon run. So it does sound like they also have taken some inspiration from Diablo with the Butcher. So basically the Butcher, he can spawn like in like various dungeons, open world areas, and he can like totally mess up your run because he can be powerful. And it sounds like they're actually going to take inspiration from that. Also, with this big warden boss, that it's kind of like Diablo, where you can complete the game in Diablo 4, and then you have like this special edition of I can't remember her name, but like they have these special edition bosses like in the end where they're really hard. So it sounds like this, but also this sounds like a boss that you might need friends to do it, and it sounds like it's very mechanic heavy. So you actually have to follow the mechanics. You cannot just like jump around and randomly attack it without knowing what to do, which I like. I like that we have to learn a boss fight. It sounds really, really fun. So we also have a little bit about corrupted worlds and involved threats. The story lore directly impacts the endgame loop as the deep dark actively leaks onto the surface of the overworld, Ghostly Wisp will infuse standard mobs, turning them into glowing, heavily buffed, and far nastier versions of themselves. We see in the trailer that some normal skeletons, zombies, monsters are walking around, and then this ghostly thing flies into them, and they become like a very, very stronger, empowered version. So we will be seeing like a lot of mobs turning into like empowered versions from these ghosts. Dual World Chaos, a long dormant ancient city portal, is flickering back to life. Official descriptions is explicitly mentioned stopping the chaos, not one, but two worlds, hinting heavily an alternate dimension or corrupted zones for in-game farming. This is quite interesting because this could be something close to Path of Exile's 2 map in-game. Like, I'm not a Path of Exile player, but I've seen how the in-game works, where you have like these maps where you can teleport between different like maps to complete hard runs, dungeon runs, whatever they are. And it sounds like this could actually take inspiration from it. I do personally really hope that Minecraft Dungeons 2 is going to have a really strong end game, because the problem with the number one was I didn't feel like it had a strong end game. And I know a lot of people tell me not every game needs an end game. Sometimes it's okay to just finish the campaign and then head off. The problem here is that this is an ARPG. You can build your character, you can get new abilities, weapons, customizable. So I really feel like this is a game where it's a missed opportunity if they don't add a good end game. So me personally, I feel like this game needs a good end game. Just saying. Leaks detailing the game's progression map indicates that the specific forest point of interest will be heavily tied to its late game story and end game content. Also got a little bonus info. Right now we're operating on the big bullet points from Xbox Game Showcase, plus some very revealing leaks. For example, the official game details tease that players will have to stop a new evil from causing chaos in not one but two worlds. We also know about the Twisted Warden boss, partially because of a Lego set titled Minecraft Dungeons 2, The Twisted Warden Battle. So even Lego, they announced, like they revealed a new Lego piece, which actually announced, what the boss is called, the big boss, which is quite interesting. Was revealed at TwitchCon on August 1. The pre-order bonuses heavily lean into this theme, offering a twisted cape and twisted chicken pet. That's quite interesting. But still, I know the first two episodes of SideQuest with Dvalin, we talked about upcoming MMOs, but I really feel like this one here deserves a spot in the show as well, because Minecraft Dungeons 1 was a big, it was a big game for me. I really enjoyed playing it, but I really know this one here is going to be so much bigger, better, and it will have so many more like customizations and so on. So me personally, I am excited for on the 29th September to boot this up and complete it with friends and see what kind of like end game they have. Again, I don't expect them to have the same end game as Diablo 4, but I still hope it's going to have some strong end game after all. But yeah. So this was episode 3 of SideQuest with Dvalin. I hope you enjoyed this episode of my new podcast. Again, if you're new to this show here, I am Dvalin, your host, and I used to do only World of Warcraft content until I got a little bit tired of WoW, and I was thinking about what should I do now? And instead of jumping into the next game and only making content about that, I was thinking of branching out and trying this new thing here where I talk about games instead. So talk about new MMOs, new ARPGs. It could also be like, at Gamescom, they probably gonna, at Gamescom, they're gonna have that opening night where they're gonna reveal a lot of games. We're probably gonna talk about that in that episode as well, all the upcoming games they just revealed. Lots of things. So whatever I feel like is worth talking about in the gaming world and the gaming industry, I'm gonna have it here. Some episodes we're also gonna have multiple topics. Some episodes we're gonna have one topic. In this episode here, we just talked about Minecraft Dungeons 2 because it's a game I'm excited for, and I don't want the episodes to be too long as well, since it takes a lot of time to also edit them. So when you edit a 20-minute podcast or 40 minutes, it's a day and night different. But yeah, I really appreciate you all for watching this or listening. Remember, this is also on podcast platforms, so you can find this on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever podcast platform you prefer. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, whatever they called, all of them. But you can find them all on all the different podcast platforms. And in case you want to watch look at me talking, and you can see the video of the podcast on Spotify and also on YouTube. There we actually have the video version of this podcast here. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all for still following me, for continuing seeing what I'm doing in my little new project here. And I really like this new project here with the podcast. It's something I really enjoy making. So yeah, thanks for this continued support, everyone. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in episode 4. Feel free to drop down a comment to let me know if there's any upcoming game that you're excited for, any upcoming or gaming news that you feel like I should mention or talk a little bit about. Always come with ideas, or feel free to join the Discord and, tell me if there's something I should mention next time on the podcast. Again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode of SideQuest with Dvalin. Peace out.